Hello and welcome to this review for the game Rear Window based on the Alfred Hitchcock motion picture. It's designed by Prospero Hall, which is not a person, but it's a board gaming design studio. So it's multiple people working on multiple projects. And it's published by Funko Games, who were kind enough to send me this copy. Thank you for that. If you'd like to know what's in the box and how it works, have a look at one of my other videos where I show you everything and I explain it, so we can just keep it to my opinion. First off, the quality of the components, the game itself, just fine. Nothing exceptional and definitely not bad quality. I'm very happy that the game comes with this tray, which keeps all the tokens stored very nicely, which especially during the setup is extremely handy. Also, Funko Games, they never wrap them in plastic, entirely in plastic, but just 4 small stickers on 4 sides, and that used to make me very nervous. I'm not entirely upset if I damage the box, but of course I'm not trying to damage the box. And every time I peel those stickers, I'd be like, oh, please don't let me tear anything. Never happens. So my fear of damaging a Funko game when I open it up for the first time is gone, and I'm happy that it saves so much plastic. Anyway, let's get to the game. If you are familiar with the game Mysterium, Rear Window will remind you of that. It's in both cases, it's one player behind the screen who has all the information that's hidden, and that player has to give clues to all the other players at the table by giving out cards with images on them, and that's all they have to work with to guess what the clues are. So in that regard, it's similar to Mysterium, and there the similarities just stop. I mean, it's a big, of course, it's most of the games, of course. That's what you think of when you play Rear Window, but it's definitely its own thing. Otherwise, what would be the point in releasing it? I like both games equally, but the difference is, one of the differences is that the setup for Rear Window is so much faster. Mysterium, I love it. It looks gorgeous, but it'll be about half an hour just setting up the game. And it's not that long of a game, just like Rear Window. It's fairly short, about 45 minutes, maybe even less, this one. But you'll have this one on the table in 10 minutes or less. So that's a big plus. Another thing is both are very easy to explain. You can basically also do a bit of the explaining as you're already playing the game, because you're playing with each other anyway. There's just one difference. Rear Window has one huge difference from definitely Mysterium, but as far as I know, every game that I have personally played, this is the only game that has that. If you are one of the other players who are trying to guess what's going on, solve the mystery, then you won't know until the very end of the game if you were playing together all this time, or if it was all of you versus that one player giving out the clues. So it's a competitive game. So that's fantastic. You won't know until the very end of the game if it was competitive or cooperative. That's great, because if there was no murder in the building, then it was a cooperative game. But if during the setup, the one player randomly, secretly drew a murder token, then at least up to a certain level, this person was trying to mislead you all this time. So that's great. But there is also another element in Rear Window that's from another game, and that's a definite older classic. I think it's from the 70s, and as far as I know, you can still maybe get it today because it's a very basic game, and it's called Mastermind. That was where one player placed 4 balls in certain colors and in a certain sequence and hit that from view, and the one other player had to guess the sequence. But the other player would never say, "Oh, you got that one right, you got that one right, and those two not." No, it was basically uh, 2 of them have the right color, but they're not in the right place. Well, so then it's up to you to figure out which 2 are the right color. And once you figured that out, in which place do they have to be? So that's a fantastic, simple, but brilliant game mechanic. And Rear Window uses that as well. As soon as you've done an entire round, you've given out the clues and the other players have made their guesses. It's up to that one player to just let them know how many guesses were correct, but not which guesses. So could be any of them. Yeah, so that's, for me, Rear Window is a combination of Mysterium and Mastermind, and it works really well. The concept is so simple, you'd expect the game to maybe not be that interesting just based on theoretically how easy it is. But I've played it multiple times now already, don't know, I think 6, 7 times. I've enjoyed it all times. Also, each and every time just happened to be no murder. So I've always been playing it cooperatively, which the other players won't know until the end. Yeah, still, it's surprising how difficult it can be. I've given clues for 3 rounds thinking, how do you not see what I'm trying to tell you? It's right there. It's so easy. But yeah, to me it is, but not to the other players. So yeah, it is a challenge, and I do like a challenge. Plus, the theming of the whole game, Prospero Hall always does that very well. It's drenched in the theme. It's entirely Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window. The game itself, the cards, the characters, the rule book, it's absolutely lovely. They have made a change to the appearance of there are people living in the apartment, 8 people you can choose from. Some of them look exactly like they do in the film, but some of them have been altered because the film didn't show that many different types of people, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's an older film, so it's forgivable, but luckily they've made sure more than just one type of person is represented in the game. So yeah, very happy with Rear Window, had so much fun with it, and I do think it's its own thing, its own game. Putting it on the table and playing it all together will be just about 45 minutes, could be even less. So it's, yeah, easy out and easy to play game, and still very enjoyable. So yeah, thumbs up from me. And that's it. Thank you very much again for watching, and I hope to see you for the next one.